Should be going live.
Yay! Are we live? I'm just double checking.
Yes, it says setting up your
hello
on
hey,
Facebook.
hey.
We're going live now as we speak.
Hey.
Yes, welcome. If you're coming onto this live stream, live or on the replay, it is the Wives from the Wife Life, and we are so excited to be here today. Aren't we, ladies?
Yes, absolutely. Okay,
so let's tell them what this, let's give them the rundown of what they need to do. Make sure that if this is your first time onto one of the Wife Life live streams, to hit the subscribe or notification so that you never miss us going live. We do this every Sunday. This is our new baby platform and project, our passion project, right, Charity? So make sure that you hit the like button, that you're liking our fan page, and that you're subscribing to get our live streams. All right, we are live, ladies. So let me put us on panel view so that everybody can see us right now. They're just seeing the people who are talking. So there we go. Now we're all present. Take it away, Charity. Let them know what today's Wife Life show is all about.
All right, guys. So first of all, we would appreciate it if you would share this to your timeline, because this is such an important topic and every woman needs to hear this. This is so important because some of you guys, the topic of this episode, right, is why making love to your man should be part of your business plan. And it doesn't matter to us if you have a business yet or not. This is something that's important for your marriage, your future marriage, your life, okay? Mm-hmm. And some of you guys might be like, yes, I'm so glad somebody's talking about sex because you're on the same page with us already, and that's amazing. But a lot of you guys might be super triggered by this topic, okay? And that's all right. And that's a good thing to recognize that. And it could be for a myriad of reasons that you feel that way. You might think it's not important. You might think that your marriage is just fine. You don't have a huge sex drive. You might have had some sexual trauma in the past. You might be dealing with chronic pain or illness, or it could be anything. You might feel like you're too busy. It doesn't matter as far as what the trigger is, because we're going to talk about all of that today, because this is how important it is. No matter what you're going through, we're going to come up with solutions for you because it's that important. We're going to help you understand why this is so important.
Absolutely. Yes. Go on, Danielle.
No, I was just going to say, I definitely, we're excited again to talk about why it's, because when we talk about entrepreneurship and teaching, sharing with women, how to build a business and, how to create a lifestyle, one of the things I don't think we have enough conversation or talk about is, how are we supporting and showing up for our relationship? How are we showing up for our marriage? How are we showing love and gratitude in that area? And one thing that the reason why we created this platform is because we're noticing devastating trend, now with women entrepreneurs, and definitely not even just entrepreneur, working women. That's what it is. Not just, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, I've been playing with my makeup and this concealer, boy, I got to lay off the concealer under the eye, but neither here nor there. But side note, egg. But we're seeing this devastating effect with working women where they're burnt out, tired, overworked, resentful, and they're not, making love to their man, and it's not a part of their business plan or lifestyle, and it's causing havoc. We're seeing divorces on the rise. We're seeing women saying that they don't need that love and intimacy, and women who do crave it. So we're just opening up this dialogue to talk about why we are talking about love making and in our relationship and why it's so important, right?
Absolutely. And just really capitalizing on what Danielle says and what Charity says, the wife life is really, really, really close to our hearts, because we really want women to stay married. All right. We really want women to stay married, because we all have ups and downs in our marriages. But today, what we're talking about is how can we make love, make intimacy the priority? Because what we've found in our own relationships, and also doing some research around the area, is once we get this foundation right, then so much other things fall into place as well. All right. So what I want you to do as you're coming in, I want you to type in the wife life in the chat so that we know that you are here and you're engaged and you're ready. And if you do have any questions, please post them in the chat and we can definitely come back to them later on, okay? All right, so Charity, do you want to take us away?
Sure. And I just want to start by saying that everything that you have been through and what you're thinking about this, all this stuff matters. Okay. So your personal experience matters. We are not coming from a place of like, hey, we know everything and we're telling you what to do because it's always been wonderful for us. And that's definitely not the case for me. I've been through some horrible, horrible things in my marriage and in my personal life. And I'm sure that you ladies have too as well. So none of us are perfect and trying to tell you guys like, this is how you should live because we think we know everything. It's more like we know because we've already been through it. And we're just trying to guide you through this rough patch and to let you know that you might feel stuck, but you can get through it, you know? So I hope that helps you guys. So I don't even know where to start, to be honest with you guys. I have so many points I want to talk about.
Well, one thing I want us to do before we get really into it is go around quickly and just like tell everybody again, because we're kind of new. This is our, we're just starting and building this platform and just introducing exactly what we do again. And then I think, Charity, let's start with that post, that you created and where that kind of came from. And then, we can start from there. But how does that sound, ladies?
Yeah, sounds good.
So Patrick, you want to start off with let everybody know what you do?
All right, so we're talking about sex and intimacy, and each and every one of us, we have really strong opinions about marriage, about sex, about entrepreneurship. We really, really do. And as Charity says, some of this may trigger you, but we are speaking our experiences and our truths. And we want this to help you as well. So in terms of when it comes to making love, what happens is Charity actually wrote a post about a month or so ago. And she said, if you're not having sex at least 3 to 4 times a week, then your priorities are all wrong. Okay, that's what she said. Now she's talking about sex within marriage. Just to actually make this clear, we are talking about sex within marriage. We're not talking about casual sex at all. All right, we're not talking about that. All right. So when Charity wrote that post in the Facebook group, it really made me remember the times when myself and my husband wasn't having sex often enough. All right. And it made me remember how our marriage actually deteriorated because of it. So at the time we were, having sex once a week, sometimes once every couple of weeks. And we found that we were having so much disagreements. There was so much dissension. I found that I was putting my business first, and I wasn't really paying attention to my husband's emotional, intimate needs. I wasn't really paying attention to that. And one thing that I realized, that even though a lot of the time we don't really tend to think about how our men's emotional needs, because we think, they're really masculine, all they want is sex and just a quick one. But it wasn't like that. During that time, my husband was lacking a lot of touch, lacking a lot of hugs and kisses and all of these things. And it really, really started to put a strain on our relationship. All right. And then we had to, this was late 2017, actually. And then there was things that we had to put in place. We had to recognize that, this is really a problem and we need to get this solved. So we spoke about it, and that's what we did. We said, well, there's a lack of intimacy in our marriage, and we have to do something about it. All right. Now I know that I'm 41 now, and I know that as you get older, your sex drive can deteriorate. And we've been married for 8 years now, and the spark, you don't always get that spark. All right. So we had to create that spark. So something that we spoke about is like, right, we have to do something about it. So we started to read books around how we can please each other. And something that really, 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 really helped. Okay. And this is massively oversharing that I haven't even spoken to my wives about. But something that we personally did is that we did go to have tantric sex classes.
Oh,
okay. That's cool.
Yeah, we did that. And you know something, it really helped, just really understanding the different parts of the body that you can touch, and how to really connect skin to skin and emotional, looking into each other's eyes. And it was something that I never even thought that I would have had to have done, but it was necessary. And then we were able to actually build from there ever since. And now what I can say is that we do have sex around 3 to 4 times a week, right? And I found that it's just wonderful. You know, we're flirting with each other. We're closer. We're connected. I'm not distracted, and we are definitely so much more in sync. All right, but this is a decision that we had to make for our own marriage. So I'll let you guys continue, otherwise I'm going to take over the whole thing. So
I think like, that's what's so, beautiful. Like, this actual topic is what, brought us wives together. I mean, we've been brought together previous for other reasons, but again, reunited on this topic. So I think we all saw the significance to it. And I know, like, for my story, I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 5 years coming up. And it wasn't until the last year and a half that I've really put an emphasis on making love to my man as part of my business plan. Because before that, it just everything took a priority before that. There was, it was like, I knew we needed to do it, but it wasn't top of mind, top of priority. It was like, this is something I really want to, commit to doing as frequently as he would like, and as the more I did, the more I enjoyed doing it that often. It's kind of the more you do it, the more you want it type of situation. But it was a major shift in my business, and more importantly in my relationship, because my marriage in the last year and a half has gotten so much stronger. And I think sometimes women don't understand the importance of making love to your man. We are talking in the context of marriage. We are wives, women intentional about family and entrepreneurship, but we are also true wives. So if you're watching this, you don't have to be a wife, but we are educating and letting women know who want to become wives or are already wives the importance, because again, like I said at the very beginning, we're seeing a lot of relationships and marriages not working out because a lot of it is, not the lack of intimacy being one of the core corporates. And I know, like, for me, I've seen a shift in a lot of leaders online talking just about business or how to be an entrepreneur, to talking more inclusive about how to really excel in all parts of your areas of your life, because it doesn't really make sense to be successful in your career or in business and when you ask people, well, why do you want to be successful as an entrepreneur? Why do you want to be successful in your career? 99% of people are going to say, well, not 99, but 90% of people are going to probably say, for my family, for my kids, so they can have more. But what we're seeing is that very thing is what's breaking up the family. And I think it's important through this conversation we talk about common reasons why women don't make making love a part of their business plan, because it's not, we're talking about why you need to do it, but there are valid reasons why women have not been making it a priority. And the reason why we created this platform is because as leaders and women who've been in the entrepreneurial space and for a while, we've starting to see this trend of just women really kind of disregarding their husband, minimalizing his concerns or his needs for attention, or becoming successful and thinking, now that I'm successful and now that I have success, what he needs or what he wants when he wants it is not as a priority, because I pay the bills around here, or I've got the most impact and influence, and I'm burnt out, or I'm tired, or I've launched this quarter, or I'm so again, that's why we're having this conversation, right? You know what I mean? And why this matters and why this ties in. And like I said, I've seen a shift of a lot of leaders incorporating this, and I know I have. And that's one of the reasons why we're bringing this up, is that seeing more women leaders who do have successful relationships even speak on this, and not just business, because again, what is it worth? We're tired. We don't want to see women coming to us talking about, you know, my husband and I are going through a divorce, or I invested in this last business adventure and he's pissed off, or, you know, and then you ask, well, are you guys making love, or when's the last? Well, we are not, you know, we haven't done this, or we're not even, you know, I know I've had clients in the last year who's like, I'm too tired between working and building a business and having kids, you know, raising the kids to do this. And then it's like, just for them to get a divorce because they're not doing it, just to have to do it all themselves anyways. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what's the end result? You're going to be doing it by yourself anyways if you don't figure this out. You know what I mean? So the one thing you're complaining about is what you're going to be doing. So you need to figure out a solution, right?
So what would you say, Charity, then? So, you know, we spoke about the reasons why some women don't have a high libido, or not even that they haven't got a high libido, but not that they're not prioritizing it. And one of the things, especially, we know that we're speaking to women in business on this platform. So one of the things is because of distraction. All right. So, and distraction comes when, you know, you're trying to figure out, what is this new opt-in? Am I going to be creating this, launching this program? And what you find is that your mind is literally just on the money. The mind is just on the business. So you're distracted and you kind of block out everything else. So you're not really present where you are right now. So Charity, what do you think, or how can we as women really reconnect with our husbands and rediscover the intimacy and that spark that made us fall in love with them in the first place, and what made them fall in love with us as well?
All right. So first of all, anything can be a distraction, right? You can always find a reason to not prioritize time with your spouse. And I want you to go back to the beginning of your relationship. There are some people who wait till they're married to have sex. And of course, I think that's the ideal, but I've tried to do that, but it didn't work out for me because me and Josh, literally, okay, on our first date, we cuddled all night and kissed, and the next morning we had sex. I felt safe enough to do that, and I didn't do that. I was almost a virgin, basically, when that happened, right? And so in the very beginning, we were having sex like rabbits all the time. Bunny's like looking for an excuse to always go over there, like, yes. And it wasn't just about the sex, obviously, it was about the connection. But I don't understand, like, we get to this place in our marriage and we think that it's normal to not keep up that behavior. And it is normal in a way that we have other distractions. You know, we were in our 20s then, and we didn't have as many responsibilities, but it doesn't make it any less important. It doesn't make it any less impactful.
And I think it's like, and don't you feel like, I feel like men, their biggest complaint is they feel kind of, that's what they like. Men honestly get married for sex. You know what I mean? They get married for the access of sex. Like, we get married for the stability and the security, you know what I mean? Like the basic part, you know, but men also, I feel like one of their biggest complaints in marriage, which actually hurts, you know, other marriages, because they tell their buddies, like, don't do it, is that we do it like jackrabbits when we're young and at the beginning, but, you know, but then we don't maintain it. And then there's this life hits us and everything's hard. And, you know, that's a thing too. Like, I want to address this mindset, like our mindset about things being hard, or things, oh my God, getting in the mood. Like, you know, if you believe that it takes you an hour to warm up, and that's why you can't have sex, because you have to, oh my God, it's like 2 hours because I got that, you know, you are a self-fulfilling prophecy, just like in business. So I tell myself, I'm ready all the time, baby. First, you don't need an hour, man. You need, you know, and that mentality, I'm always ready. That's just the way I operate. You don't take that too about. You know what I mean? So I don't operate from this mentality of, so it's like, as we kind of mature, and especially when we get married, it's something about putting the ring on. It's like, that's what men say. All of a sudden, you know, the light switch, and she don't have sex as much. You know, she just pretty much, it was like all jackrabbit before, got married, fell asleep. So, you know, and then that's where they feel kind of disappointed, or like, you know, like, wait a second, you know. And so I realized too, after having sex almost every day for a year and a half, don't have it every day now, but it's pretty much still 4 to 5 times a week. But for almost a year and a half, it was almost every day. So there were a few days we missed, whatever. But I just realized the more I had sex, the more connected we were. And that's his way of showing love. You know what I mean? And like, that's his time. That's that time for him to show love. And I realized when you deny him that, you're denying him the ability to show you love in that room, you know, that way. And so that's where, you know what I mean? And so we have to kind of take accountability for that. Like when we get married, we're making a commitment to be the best version of who we are at all times. And that's why how you build a business, in my opinion, is so critical. So I know, like for Petra and I, who are huge on business models, the reason why we are so passionate about this, because I think both her and I, and definitely Charity, have figured out an alternative solution on where we can have the time and the self-care and the naps and the rejuvenation, so that if we have to put out every night, it's not a damn chore. It's like, okay, I'm well relaxed because I'm not working 8-9 hours a day. Now, in the beginning, you know, I didn't know that. You know, I was doing like everybody else who builds a business on hustle and grind. I had a 40-hour job. I came home. I was trying to throw a meal together. I was trying to throw some stuff to clean up. I was trying to bathe a kid. I was trying to stay on my laptop till 12 o'clock at night. You know, so I'm like, sex, you know, what is that? You know, and all the time he getting more and more distance as I'm also putting more and more pressure on.
Yeah, and I completely get that. And this is the thing. It's like men, it's like what Danielle was saying, they show that they want sex differently. They might be touching you and slapping you on your butt and things like that. And you know, as women, sometimes, I mean, I've done this, I'll be like, oh, can we just do it later? Or can we just do it tomorrow or something like this? And that is rejection to a man. That's rejection. Right? And that's really hurtful, and men really internalize that. So it's like you've got to kind of think, you know, when you're doing that, how are you making him feel as well? And the funny thing is, when you give him more, you get more as well. All right, you get more. And in terms of getting more, I'm talking about he'll do the dishes, he'll cook. You know, I mean, I haven't got children right now, but I'm sure that Charity and Danielle will say, and they take care of the kids more. You don't have to ask.
And it's the art of inspiration. It's like that's really what I feel like women are missing. When it, like a lot of women, they've lost the art of inspiration. It's now like, you know, like the art of inspiration is when you're so on top of your game that your husband is like stepping up his game without you even have to say anything. Now this, I always tell people the first rule that comes to this though, and the most important rule is first you got to pick a good man. So you can come back and say, well, I do everything and he does nothing. Well, did you pick a good man? That goes back to rule number one.
Like that in the beginning.
First rule, did you pick a good man? Now, if you picked a good man, I mean, you picked someone who you off the gate saw was selfless, who was marriage minded, who was invested, then, you know, are you doing your best version of you? Because I can 100% guarantee, because I know from personal experience, that when one, I married a good man, and two, that when I'm on my game so good, I mean, you know, mentally, that, you know, it's funny, people always say marriage is hard, and I say it is hard, but it's not physically hard. That's where people get tripped up. They're like, well, what do you mean marriage is hard? Marriage is hard because you have to have mental stamina. It takes mental stamina to do the mental reps in your head of staying on top of your game and aware of all the things that your partner has shared with you that they would like to see the best of you at. So it's like, okay, remind myself, you know what I'm saying? Like these daily things in our head, and that's the work. You know, a lot of people don't have the mental stamina to, you know what I mean, to be the best version of them and to remind themselves, hey, this isn't what my partner responds to. Remember to do this, remember to do that. You know, it's a series of lists in your head to be the best version of you. And if you're with the right person, you wouldn't mind doing that, because marriage is about personal development at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So, but would you agree with that? Like, that's the art of inspiration, that a lot of women are not understanding that concept. And so instead it's more like demanding or cut off, like, let me cut off sex as punishment. You know what I mean? To get you to do what I want you to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to get you to do what I want you to do, I'm going to have to cut off sex. But that's not how it's done. You know what I mean? That's how you end up. So is that what you would agree with, Petra, as far as that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that, you know, during those times when I think back at, you know, we wasn't having sex often, I had to be practical because, you know, it's important to be practical as well. So what I want us to do is go and have a look at, okay, what are the steps that we can do? What are the steps that we can actually do and take to reconnect with our husbands and start having more sex? So one of the things that you can do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge the fact that right now you're not having enough sex.
Yep.
And have the conversation with your, you know, with your husband. You know, go out somewhere, you know, go out of the house. Because what I found, and with my husband Cecil, is that, you know, he doesn't really speak that much about what's going on with him in his mind, what's going on with him.
Right.
But he opens up when we're at dinner. He opens up when we're out. So what I would definitely say is definitely go out with your spouse, and it's okay for you to initiate where to go. You know, go out with your spouse and talk about it and have the open conversation. And what I will say is definitely put dates in your diary. Put dates in your diary, you know, go out at least once a week. Go out at least once a week without the children, just you two, and aim for the end or the beginning of the date to have sex. All right. Another thing that you can definitely do is schedule it in. Now, this may sound like so unsexy, but schedule it in. Put it in your diary. Monday, Wednesday, and Tuesday, whatever it is, put it in your diary. Set the alarm. Right, we're going to get intimate. We're going to have sex. We're going to have sex on these nights. Put it in the diary. Another thing,
mentally prepared, and throughout you going through the day, you're like, all right, I'm gonna have sex tonight, so maybe I should hold off on this chore so I'm not too tired. Like, if you're prepared, then you're gonna make it happen.
Absolutely. And also you have to understand your own body, and you have to know what is the best times of the day where you're going to be more lit.
Right, no, I agree, because like I'm more like a mid-afternoon, like, you know, 12, 1 o'clock-ish, that's when so whenever my husband is home at the same time I am, like at that period, you know, he already knows like he's going to be pretty much touched inappropriately. but yeah, like, yeah, so definitely know, you know, or like, I know too, like if there are times in my head that I know that, okay, I can't do it the night before because whatever, we're sleepy or things are getting late. Like, I actually go to bed visualizing what I'm going to do, like wake up the next morning and do. So that way, like when the alarm clock goes off, like I've already got to re-rehearse in my, like, that's what I fell asleep to, my own, you know, visualization of what this morning's going to look like. That's when the alarm goes off so we can get it in on the morning, you know? And so I know that totally shocks him when he's like, whoa, like you woke up, like, you know, playing in my head beforehand, make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Like I do wake up and alarm goes, I can just ready to go.
Ready to go. And I love that, because, you know, we talk about visualizing and meditating for our business, but what about our sex life? I love that. And something else as well, as women entrepreneurs, because we work from home, all right, look nice at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Don't fluffy and frumpy.
I'm so glad you said that, Petra. Like right now I'm on Glam TV, so like I'm not really like this at home when he walks home, but I do put on false eyelashes, like the natural ones, not these are my for TV lashes. Mm-hmm. But like my daytime housewife lashes, you know what I mean? Like I put those on every morning religiously. Like that's the only thing fake I technically wear on a daily basis is my lashes. But yeah, like I feel like when I do get dressed and I get like, you know, present, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this home sexy, you know what I mean? Like I'm casual, but it's formation, the thing is fitting right, you know, I'm getting the right spot. So when daddy comes home from work, he's like, oh, this is how you chilling at the house, and this, you know what I mean? Like, so it
if
definitely
you feel better about yourself, you're gonna wanna, and you're gonna emanate that, and he's gonna find you sexy, and you're gonna feel like desirable, you know?
Yeah, like it definitely makes you more in that state of mind, like you're already more in the mood, and you know what I mean, you feel your best. And I think it, it helped. But here's one thing, and I know Petra will love this because she's a Grant Cardone 10x, fan. Okay. I love how Grant Cardone just, let's keep it real. Intermarriage is sell or be sold. Still, everything is sell, okay, and that ties right into business and Petra's things. And like, this is just the black and white of it. Obviously, love isn't, but you know what I'm saying. You're always selling your partner on why they should be with you, and I think your partner should always be selling you on why they should be with you. I don't think you should ever get complacent on selling each other on why you're the best thing. I want my husband. I'm always selling him on the fact I'm the best thing smoking on this side of town. Like, they just got, like, show me something, and that's just me confident that I'm hyping myself up. Like, I'm not really like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like hyping my own self. I'm just like, always like, selling myself, not to feel like I prove or validate, because it's not like that. This is totally, but it's more so like, selling the fact that I'm giving you my best, and I'm going to
Yes,
be giving you
because
my best.
and it's like, even in terms of what you're wearing in the house, you can put on little hot pants, you can put on little, little shorts and things, and you could just like bend, just if the remote control drops on the floor, you just like bend and you say, oh babe, I'm just picking up the remote, it's just falling. You can flirt with each other.
Right.
Flirt.
And
Right?
sexting. Oh man, y'all sext? Because that's one of my favorite things to do, is send flirty text messages. And that was one of the things that was really important to reigniting things with us.
Yeah, like we like the gifts, which obviously Tumblr, I think, is like limiting their gifts, which, I don't know, like, this is like too much, but it's like right on there with the texting. But yeah, just having something, you know what I mean? Whether it's, whatever it is that you're keeping it. And that's the thing. Like, I used to always feel like that's a job, you know what I mean? Like, that's why, I didn't do it before. But then I didn't realize that when I did keep up the intimacy consistently and having my husband on board and support, it's so much easier to get his buy-in when he's not angry and pent at regression. He can think clearly. Like, you have to understand the mind biology of our husbands as well. It's like, it's so much easier for him to just like, agree when he's also getting an agreement too. I'm like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? But
yeah, because you do, because you're connected. Your souls are one. That's what marriage is about. It's about that oneness. And then when you're connecting in such a deep and intimate, and it's in a spiritual way, making love together, you're honoring God.
Right.
And only good can come from that. All right. And something else as well that I think is really important, especially if you are a female entrepreneur and you're working in your business and your husband doesn't have anything to do with your business. Something that can really, really heighten your intimacy and connection and communication is to find something that you do together. Some kind of hobby or some kind of interest that you can do together on a weekly basis. Whether it's just bike riding or something, whether it's swimming or whatever it is, that really, really does help, especially with the conversation. So something that me and my husband, what we have, we're both Christian, and we actually have an online ministry. All right. It's an online ministry. We have it every single Wednesday. So my husband teaches the Bible to mainly new believers. So we do that every single Wednesday, and that's really, really helped us to stay connected, to stay, intimate with each other, because we have that thing that's both in common that we love and enjoy, and we're coming together. We're preparing for it every single week, so it opens up the conversation, and then also we're helping other people at the same time. Because with entrepreneurship, you can be quite really limited. You can be really just living in your own kind of paradigm where you're not really giving back or giving out to anyone else, right? So that's something else that we do that's really, really helps with our marriage as well.
That's awesome. That is so awesome.
I want to interject on something that I think is really important, because we haven't touched on it yet. A lot of women are in the position where they are the ones who are kind of like, I don't know about sex, but you might be like I was for years on end and the one who wants sex all the time, but your husband doesn't. I know I'm not the only one because I've been doing.
Yeah, you're not, but so I'm excited to hear this perspective. I know you're not.
Yeah, and I was looking on YouTube today at the video that Pinterest set, and a lot of the women were like, I want to have sex all the time, but my husband just doesn't, and he has low libido, and he doesn't think it's important, and he thinks we're fine. And I just want you guys out there, if you're listening to this and you're like, but I want to have sex, we hear you and we understand. And everything that we're saying is still applicable. It's all applicable. And you can't make your husband want to have sex with you. But what you can do is consider his feelings. You know, my husband is super sensitive, and not all women are married to sensitive men. Some are less, but some are more. But if you're feeding his spirits, you know, through doing things together, through touching, through complimenting, through encouraging, all of these things, and he's gonna start wanting to have sex with you. I doubt he wasn't like that in the beginning. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have been with them, probably wouldn't have married him if you were incompatible in that way. But if you were, and then something happened, you can get it back. There's
right.
I love that, Charity, and this is why I love you guys, because this is real life. Mm-hmm. This happens. You know, I've been married 8 years. Yes, sometimes my husband goes through those phases, and it's really, really amazing that you've said that and that we can be open enough to share that, because when he does, it's just about you having that patience and you just tending to him, just like what Charity says.
And even something else Charity said that I think that ties into even just our platform is the intention. You know, like what I mean by that is like Wife Life, we're intentional about family and entrepreneurship, but like I truly believe, like, if you want to see like things manifest in your relationship or in your business, like state, like, you know, I'm going to have more, you know, we're making love, you know, he's, you know, like, you know, just kind of stating the intention that you want to increase that, because when you state the intention and you live in that, you focus on it. And that, you know, it sounds like Charity, you know, if they were compatible, she thought, but she made the intention to love on him, caress on him, give him the intention to let him open up and see, like, I'm making it, like, you don't always have to be the initiator. Like, there were cycles in marriage, and we respect that. There's cycles when he's like all the initiator, and there's times when you've got to kind of up your game. That's the beautiful part about marriage, is that it is like a song that plays in different octaves at different times, you know, and different people get to play their part and to make the song beautiful. So I think that's really what I'm hearing. I wanted to point out, just so that our people watching are like, okay, well, because and this will be thing that I will say many times, because it ties in when like, well, what do you do? Well, set the intention is the first thing. Set the intention you're going to have a beautiful marriage. Set the intention that you're going to have sex almost daily. That's what I did. I set the intention. You know, for me, I had more of like a more kind of like a light bulb minute where it's like, one minute I was really nonchalant about sex and wasn't making it a priority. To our next moment, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, I could lose a really good guy. That's what happened in my mind. The light bulb wasn't like, oh my God, I need to start having sex every day. It was like, oh my gosh, I have a really good guy that I've been letting my entrepreneurial boss bitch way become almost turning him away. Oh my God, that was a good little flow there. But anyway, and so when I started, and then when I realized the light bulb, because I set the intention, I wanted wisdom, and God decided to put a spotlight on my marriage, because he was like, that's where you need your wisdom to grow, because that's where you're acting immature. And when he's put the spotlight on that, and I realized like, whoa, you know, I have a really great guy who's I love very much, but I'm really doing subconscious and conscious little things that are demeaning and are separating and, you know, just going to sabotage my success in all areas. You know what I mean? If I let this continue. And so when I set that intention, that's when I realized it. And then that's when I was like, okay, I need to start making this a priority to show him that I care about him, and that he is a priority, and what he's saying his needs are, I'm not ignoring. So that's why I just say intention is just one of those things. If you want any place to start, that to me feels like the very first thing that you can start with no money, no nothing, is set the intention, because the whole universe, I promise, is trying to make you happy, you know, but the universe, the divine God doesn't know how to do that if you're not very clear what you're seeking.
I love it. And I love that. And you know something, we're the Wife Life, and we're going to challenge you to make the intention to have sex daily. Make the intention to have sex daily. It doesn't have to be in the bedroom. It could be in the car. It can be in the kitchen. It could be in the living room. It could be different places.
Or you know, like you said, schedule it in. I think to me that's been like the biggest help is knowing, hey, after 10 o'clock, like, and as a wife, you know, and this is why figuring out how to maneuver through your day is so important, mastering your day. Women supposedly we're the smarter of the two genders, we say. So I'm letting us to figure it out because we can do it. Meaning, how are we going to set up and optimize our day so that when it comes to 9-10 o'clock, we can have everything shut down. So my goal in my house is like, you know, when my husband comes home, I have a lot of things done. Now, that's also how I work. I created a way to work that allowed me to be able to have other things set up. So when he got home, boo, I got this. What was good? You have no excuses at 9:30 to be on your, okay? Okay. And so I set up a life for my husband to literally just walk into his home, do his daddy thing, you know, be present, and then, you know, do whatever he needs to fiddle around with. So at 9-10 o'clock, we're not still rushing around to, you know, do all these things. You know, we're like good at 10 o'clock to get in the bed. You know what I mean? So we know we got about, depending on what time we get in the bed, we've allotted, it's going to be a fast night or a love making night. Is this a speed through? Is this a just pick what you want? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Pick your position real quick. What's gonna get you there the fastest? So we have, you know what I mean, like the short version and the long version.
Yeah. Bang the bang or the boom or the bing bang or the boom.
Yeah. And then if it's really a situation where I know we've gone days and the nights have not been working out, well, what can I start? Can I wake up 30 minutes early? Now, I'm not a morning person, so for me to do that, I literally have to set my alarm 30 minutes early, and I have to go to bed visualizing the alarm going off and what I'm like. So when it does, I can just go, you know what I mean? So that's my alternative on that.
I love that. So I want you to share with us your takeaways, all right, from this episode, and share with us how many times a week are you going to set the intention to make love to, all right? And I want you to share with us underneath this thread, all right? So we are out for today, and we will see you at the same time next week, okay? And those of you that are watching the replay, type in replay in the chat and let us know that you've been here, okay?
Thank you.
Awesome. It's been awesome, ladies. We'll see you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.